Shabbat Shalom. If you were here last night or read the TJP this week, you know where we're beginning, so feel free to sing along with me. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. You and Mick Jagger are not the only ones who don't always get what you want. In the verses that precede our Torah reading today, Moshe pleads to God, "Let me pass into and see the good land across the Jordan River, this good mountain, and Lebanon." God refuses to let Moshe enter the land, but does allow him to ascend Mount Pisgah and see the panoramic image of the land of Israel with his very own eyes. God has said yes to Moshe many times before. God accepts Moshe's pleas to forgive the people Israel. Time and time again, God allows Moshe to see a glimpse of God, and God steps in to guide the people Israel with a pillar of cloud and fire when Moshe knows he cannot go it alone. This time, however, God cannot say yes. Moshe's request is no longer to the benefit of the people. As the people Israel enter the land, they no longer need a spiritual leader and teacher. They need someone like Joshua, a military leader who can lead them to victory and help them feel pride in their new land. As Moshe acted in the wrong when he hit the rock at Meribah, the people Israel also need to see the reality of consequences even for the misdeeds of their leaders. And perhaps this timing of Moshe's death is ideal for all parties. Now that the people Israel know that Deuteronomy will be Moshe's final speech, they may be inspired to listen more intently, to truly take note of their leaders' call to mitzvot in this land they are about to enter. Practically speaking, Moshe is also growing old at this moment in time. He is a 120-year-old man. Years take a toll, even on the holiest among us. Even Moshe is not physically invincible. At the end of the Torah, while Moshe does not get what he wants, he does get what he needs. A chance to see the land to which he has worked to bring his people, and a chance to make a meaningful impact with a final speech. If Moshe can't get what he wants all the time, we certainly can't always get what we want either. However, like Moshe, if we make the effort, we may at least get what we need. When trying to get the girl or the guy in high school, we may have stumbled upon another love instead. Studying and failing to become an engineer may have taught us that another career path was the right way to go. And while commitment to a job or relationship may come with biting criticism, that criticism often teaches us more about who we are and how we can strive to be. Sometimes we need an unexpected change in scenery, and sometimes we need to be knocked down a peg to get back up with even more strength and confidence. And sometimes what we experience may not feel great to us, but may be healthy for our loved ones or for our wider community. Of course, we may get exactly what we want, but there's no chance of that happening if we do not at least take the risk of taking first steps, take the risk of possibly not getting them. When we find ourselves in that place that Moshe experiences while looking out at the land of Israel, not quite where we wanted or expected, it's time to ask ourselves if and how this experience might fulfill our needs. We must ask ourselves how to move forward now most effectively and how to set new goals in this space that God has granted us. Remember, too, that you may not always get what you want or what you need. No one needs illness, mourning, or hunger. The Talmudic Rabbi Vaetchanan is asked whether his suffering is worthwhile to him, and his answer provides insight: not my suffering and not my reward. All the same, he allows his friend to come sit and cry with him, and eventually to give him a hand and help him stand up when he's ready. He is one of a series of 3 rabbis who are in a state of despair or illness, and another rabbi comes, asks that same question, and he answers, "Not my suffering, not its reward." He's only able to get up with the hand of a friend. Like our Talmudic rabbis, we are allowed to dwell in our suffering to know when we do not need or want this moment, as long as at some point we welcome the emotional and physical assistance that our loved ones provide to bring us back up. In all of his courses on liturgy, Rabbi Elliot Dorff of the Ziegler School of Rabbinic Studies opens with a Garth Brooks song entitled Unanswered Prayers. The musician tells a story of running into his high school girlfriend and reflecting on his time with her. "She was the one that I'd wanted for all times, and each night I'd spend praying that God would make her mine. And if he'd only grant me this wish I'd wished back then, I'd never ask for anything again." But then throughout the song, the singer realizes how little chemistry they really had. "As she walked away, well, I looked at my wife, and then and there I thanked the good Lord for the gifts in my life." Sometimes I thank God for unanswered prayers. Remember when you're talking to the man upstairs, and just because he may not answer doesn't mean he don't care, because some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. Although the singer wanted to be with his high school girlfriend forever, and although he asked God for that reality again and again, God granted him with the gift of the unexpected instead. At times, we too must accept that the best outcome is not always what we ask for, and we too have the opportunity to perceive the gift in the sometimes puzzling answers that God delivers to our request. After all, you can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you just might find you get what you need. Shabbat Shalom. Love to invite John Gannett up to lead us in Musaf with Francine as well. Also, if you'd like to learn with John Wills in the library, now is the time to follow him.
I asked Francine to join me because I've been a big fan of hers, and also she has a melody